Thanks for checking out another clip of the Cashflow Contractor. We'd love to have you as a part of our audience. Click subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Why don't we just start with the basic, what is the change formula?
Well, first I want to talk about change and whether or not we mind it. And like I've said before in this show, and I heard somebody said, I don't mind change as long as I don't have to do anything different.
Yeah.
So, no, having just welcomed some new, done an alignment with some new clients here in the last couple of days, one of the things I always talk about is the change formula. And I describe it as the most important thing we're going to talk about. And then I warned him, I said, I'll probably say some other things are most important too, but this one really is. And it is pain and pleasure, the pain that you're trying to get away from, the pleasure you're trying to get toward. It's called dissatisfaction, same as pain. Vision, your vision for the future is the award. Carrot and a stick. But anyway, there are things that you don't want, that you want to get away from. And there are things that you do want, that you want to get toward. One can be more powerful than the other, depending on you and your situation. They can be equally powerful. You can have one with nothing. I mean, it can be all pain you're wanting to get away from. Anyway, it can be any combination. But those two things, and we put a little multiplication sign in there because they compound one another. Those two things have to be greater than your resistance to change. Change involves work. Work has to have a reward until it becomes habit, right? But you have to learn you have to figure out how to do something differently. You have to change your habits to do something differently. You have to change your people, your customers, your employees, your family. You have to try to influence their habits so that they behave differently. And that is work. And if there is not sufficient reason to do it, you will not do it. They will not do it. Customers won't do it. All the days won't do it. So it's really, really important that we understand clearly why we're undertaking change. And in my case, where it's coaching, somebody calls me and wants to do something, I need to know, why did you call me? And that's really a pretty good question because something impelled you to give me a call. That's why I like getting calls. I'm not scared to cold call, but it's kind of a waste of time. You got to have a reason. And if it's a powerful reason, as a lot of my clients are, it can be money. I mean, it can be all kinds of things. But if they're a powerful reason, I go, okay, here we go. Let's get specific. And another thing in the formula we could attack, but if you want to, is what are the reasons people resist change? Because that's important too. But that's important for my clients when we do an alignment, because if they don't have those motivating factors, they're not going to do anything we talk about. I've seen it many times.
Yeah.
If they don't really mean it. They might say it, but if they don't really mean it, they're not going to do anything.
Okay.
So
let's just really clearly spell it out for everybody, and maybe our team will put the change formula on the screen for us. So say it for us really fast.
Okay. Dissatisfaction times your vision has to be greater than resistance to change, or there will be no change.
There we go.
And,
so dissatisfaction, and what you were saying is that dissatisfaction is the most powerful one.
I didn't say that, but it is.
Well, no,
that's one thing we're going to talk about.
That's what we were talking about before we jumped on.
Right.
Dissatisfaction is the most powerful one.
You will pay more attention to avoid immediate pain,
discomfort,
than you will to acquire immediate gain. And an example in an article I read is kind of a simple example, but if there's a lion attacking you and there's a bag of money over there, you're going to run away from the lion.
Yeah.
Worry about the money later. Now, I know some people that'll grab the money.
People do a great example of like, if I were to give you $10 million tomorrow, what would you do with it? And you tell all the things you do, and it's okay, great. And would you take the money? Absolutely. Okay, but what if I said that tomorrow's your last day on earth?
Right.
Like if you take the money, it's your last day on earth. Everyone's like, well, no. It's like, so why don't you treat every day as if it was worth $10 million? Why don't you
Right.
go and approach every day
Yeah.
like, with that same mindset? It's the same thing, like the dissatisfaction.
Yeah, and kind of the answer to that question is, I'm happy. I mean, there are people who are complacent. We're always talking about improving, getting better, more efficient, making more money to get, to achieve those goals with less stress, more free time, more. There are people who are perfectly happy right where
Which
they
is
are.
great.
Yeah.
Well, in some sense, I envy those people because it's very challenging to, I don't know, maybe our listeners feel this, but when you're going all week and then you get to Sunday and you just want to, maybe the idea of rest sounds good. And then you sit down on the couch for a couple hours and you realize, oh, well, I could mow the grass, or, oh, I could, do this little project. And you're just always constantly going. And actually being content is a lot harder than, for at least probably most of the business owners out there that are ambitious. Being content with where you're at is really challenging. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't really know anybody I said there are people who are content, but I don't run around with them.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't bump into them.
Although it's important to stop and just think for a second, like, man, I've actually accomplished a lot. Or
one of my favorite things with people, and you've done it too, is to say, what are your sales? 3 million. How long have you been in business? 6 years. What would have been rock your socks sales beyond your imagination when you started business? 100,000. And you're doing 3 million now. Yeah. But that's not enough, man. I got to get to 10 million. So, being complacent, what you think, I like that. You have to give thanks for where you are, take some time off. It doesn't, but yeah.
There's a book that came
point?
out. There's a book that came out by Andrew Wilkinson called Never Enough, from barista to billionaire. And he's a very fascinating guy. Really follows Warren Buffett pretty religiously, and obviously it's paid off.
Yeah.
But I've only read the first, the introduction, so I haven't actually gotten into the full book, but just the idea of it is when is actually enough, and none of this is actually going to make you happy, and all that kind of stuff.
Well, people who don't understand, I'm just going to say that, think that acquiring money and status and power is the purpose. And there are some people like that. I don't think for 2 nanoseconds that's what motivates Elon Musk.
No.
I mean, getting to Mars. You think about all the stuff he's done, every one of those things is impossible. And he did them. And they do things and make it look so easy. You're just going, what the heck? Anyway.
You got to think big, right?
There's no way he's motivated by money. No way.
Thanks for checking out a clip from the Cashflow Contractor. We have full episodes where we go deep on topics that help you grow a construction business that runs without you, so you can have less stress, more time, more money. Now, we've got other videos, other clips, but if you want to check out the full episode for this clip, you can click wherever our editor put it. It might be here, it might be there, it might be over my face, I don't know. But thank you for checking us out. We'd love to have you as a part of our audience. So subscribe or check out a full episode wherever you get podcasts.